The next section of the design calculator is the wet well design size. So here you can select at the moment a duplex or triplex application, and then you can select your wet well diameter. In this case, we'll select 6-foot diameter, which shows your gallons per vertical foot. We typically like to see gallons per vertical foot greater than your operating point in gallons per minute. And then you can select your pump starts per hour. So the recommendation at the moment is 8. However, this is a user inputted field and typically comes back to the pump manufacturer that you're utilizing to recommend pump starts per hour. However, most manufacturers have a maximum starts per hour of 15. Once the starts per hour has been inputted, then that calculates your pump cycle time and then the design working volume in your wet well and the design working depth. The next field that's user input is your minimum emergency retention time. This can either be as low as 0 if you have additional emergency backup equipment like a standby pump or generator. However, if we put in 15 minutes in this example, then that shows an emergency depth of 3 feet above your high water float elevation, and then shows you your emergency volume in the wet well. Further to that, you would input your invert depth into the wet well, which typically you would find that again on the force main profile drawings. And once you've inputted that, that will calculate your wet well depth for this application.